All right, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakak Wadash. I want to say double honors and give double honors to the apostles and the bishop, elders of Great Millstone, for teaching his word and truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to my fellow Akim across the four corners of the globe, preaching and prophesying in the name of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Here on our brother Gabar Yahweh Duff from GMS Hawaii, coming to you with another quick lesson. And this lesson was inspired by a live show that Apostle Gabar, along with Bishop Elder Sakaran, did today. All right, and in their video, they touched on a lot of information regarding the Bikini Atoll. All right, which was an island chain that was destroyed by Esau, so Esau could set up his nuclear program or test his nuclear program, Salakia, to test his nuclear program. And what it did was it destroyed a nation of people. These are Japhetic people from the islands, from the Marshall Islands. All right, that's where the Bikini Atoll is. And these people can't live on their land anymore. And on top of that, they was lied to in order to vacate their land. And when they vacated their land, they vacated with no compensation. They just picked these people up and packed their shit up, and the ones they could, and displaced them all throughout America, Salakia. So they, in order for them to get that land to destroy it, because that's what they did ultimately, was they lied to the people. And it's crazy because I just paused this lesson and then I restarted it because the Spirit had me think about this place called Bikini Bottom, which is a fictional place where, you know, if you brothers know about SpongeBob SquarePants, a gay sponge living on the bottom of an atoll. Well, Bikini Bottom was actually based on a place. So not only did Esau destroy a real place called the Bikini Atoll, they even made fun of it, man. Right? It says, however, the fictional location of Bikini Bottom is based on a very real place, the seabed surrounding Bikini Atoll, a site of American nuclear weapons. Between 1946 and 1958, the U.S. government detonated 67 nuclear weapons on these isles. So basically, that show, you know, brothers familiar with SpongeBob SquarePants, is basically a nuclear dump. And they got living fish. They got these fish that's all jacked up. They got a squirrel living in a spacesuit in the water, you know, just random shit, you know. But this is how Esau does. He destroys your place and then he mocks you for it, you know, as the scripture says in Psalms, what's it at? Psalms 10 and 5. It says his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth up after them. He puffeth up at them, and that's what he does. This man, he don't believe in the Lord. He doesn't believe that destruction will come because of his wickedness. He doesn't believe that judgment will come. You know, and his ways are always grievous. You know, and he boasts at his enemies, man. And these people are Esau's enemies. But the crazy thing about it is, what made me think about something else was that, you know, for all of the shit that Esau put these people through, which is a traumatic experience, they still got some type of reprieve. They still got some type of reparation. You know, they got paid. They get paid money. They got a whole section. What you're gonna see in this video, they have a whole section of Arkansas and Ozark, Arkansas, dedicated for them. But we don't have shit. We ain't get nothing. But this just to show you the destructive force of Esau. You know, that's why I'm entitled this lesson. It's a damn shame what they did to that Bikini Atoll, man. You know, because it is a damn shame. You know, it was 100 people, so I guess they felt like that was little collateral damage. You know, mainly was on an island, but it's like 4,000 of them people right now that's displaced. In fact, their princess is living in Arkansas. This Japhetic princess she's not her, but they're gonna show you in a little bit, has to live in the middle of Arkansas. And why do they have to live there? Because Esau destroyed their land. All right, the Marshallese Island, islands, or the Bikini Atoll. All right, an island in the Marshall Islands. Okay, most people you used to, when you see the islands, you see the blue sea, you see the sand, but this place is highly toxic, and a soul can't even live on it because they'll get sick and die. You know, it looks beautiful now, and how much more beautiful did it look prior to Esau destroying it with nuclear weapons. You know, you got it looks nice now, but in reality, that place is full of poison because this man is a devil. He destroyed the earth. You know, that's his spirit. All right, so I wanted to go into a little bit of the history. I know the apostle and the bishop elder brought some of this history out in their lesson. And if you want to check their lesson out, or you go out there watch our videos, you want to go check this video out right here. It's called Going Live on Tuesday afternoon. This is posted up today. This is Apostle Bar and Slakia, Bishop Elder Sakaran, and they did a lesson, and the majority of the lesson the Spirit had of speaking about this same topic, the Bikini Atoll.
Our job, man. That's my hey, man. That's my job. It's my destiny. You know, that's our destiny. You know. Yeah. So we're gonna do it until how about you outside say, okay, that's it. Because there's a scripture where the Lord said, He gonna let us know in the comment section. You know, if you were edified by this lesson. I mean, kind of seemed we're all over the place, but I believe that edification came out, especially that.
That was, I'm sure I probably ran into that, but my memory doesn't like recollect it right now. But I'm glad that you brought that out because that's good to know.
That's the spirit. And I didn't know I was going to bring it out. The spirit just tapped me and said, "Look, type in," because I remember seeing the video about Bikini Atoll. So the spirit said, "Type it in." I couldn't believe. As you were speaking, I couldn't believe all the stuff I was reading. Like, whoa, and Esau was really coming out and revealing shit. And that was Wikipedia, you know. So I know brothers out there. I know I saw the brother from Hawaii. I know he gonna do a video on that. Because he lives out in that area.
Right.
Okay, so I already know. Shout out to you, bro. The boy Howard. I already know you're gonna do a video on that.
And this is the video, man. So let's get into it. All right, this is the first thing I got. I got an article on the Marshall Islands. This is from the Guardian, okay, and it was about 4 months old. And it says the Marshall Islands call for U.S. to pay more compensation over nuclear tests. Pacific nation plagued by environmental effects of 67 bomb tests between 1946 and 1958, including Castle Bravo detonation in 1956, which the Castle Bravo bomb, that was the biggest one that they had let loose over there. Right now, people will say, "Well, why are these people getting compensation?" Because the effects didn't just affect the people in the 1940s and 50s. It affected their children, even in birth. They got birth defects. They all jacked up. They got radiation poison, and that's what happens. It don't just affect one generation. It affect multi generations, right? So these people, they call for Esau to pay them back. It says Foreign Minister of the Marshall Islands has called for more U.S. compensation over the legacy of massive U.S. nuclear testing to enable the renewal of a strategic agreement governing bilateral relations. Marshall Islanders are still plagued by health and environmental effects of the 67 nuclear bomb tests in 1946 to 1958, which included Castle Bravo, a Bikini Atoll, the largest U.S. bomb ever detonated. Right? Says the Marshall Islands is one of the Pacific Island nations covered by COFAs, under which the U.S. has responsibility for their defense and provides economic assistance while gaining exclusive access to huge strategic swaths of the Pacific. It says Yoon told the hearings he was puzzled by the Marshall Islands position, given the MOU offered 2.3 billion over 20 years, and that the nuclear liability issue had been settled in the 1980s. He also said that MOU contained $700 million for a trust fund that could be used for nuclear affected atolls. I have told my Marshall colleagues, listen, there's no more money, he said. So, look, Esau ain't trying to give you no more money. He said, Yoon said he believed there were domestic political issues at play in the Marshall Islands with an election coming up in November and rumors of a non-confidence motion against David Kabua, the president, next week. Aiding denied this and said he was saddened and disappointed by the reference to his country's initial affairs. So these people, they basically saying that they paid them enough money, so they stopping the checks, And so these people are upset, and they have a right to be, because of the shit that Esau, excuse my language, but the stuff that Esau put them through, man. You know, you just placed a whole nation of people so you can play with nuclear bombs. So let me play a little bit of this right here.
Lena G-Boss Madison, she can never go back to her homeland because it's contaminated.
I am sixth generation down, I believe, from the time they took our ancestors from the island.
So Selena is a representative for the exiled people of Bikini Atoll who now live in the U.S.
This flag right here is our Bikini Atoll KB flag.
And it's kind of based off the American flag. I see stripes and stars.
Yeah, it's on purpose to remind the U.S. of the damage done to the Bikinians. 3 stars right here signifies the 3 islands that were demolished at the during the testing.
In 1946, the U.S. decided to evacuate Bikini Atoll and forced the 167 residents to leave their homeland.
That's one of the reasons why there's almost 4,000 Bikinians here in the States. And I believe whatever happened to us Bikinians has affected all of us Marshallese as a whole.
The U.S. detonated 67 atomic weapons in the Marshall Islands, 23 of them on Bikini Atoll, including the most destructive nuclear weapon in U.S. history, Castle Bravo.
The width of the fireball at this time, about 3 seconds after detonation, was 4 miles.
And it was U.S. propaganda that basically tricked the Bikinians to leave their homeland so that the U.S. could conduct these tests.
Crossroads, scene 26, take 1.
This is a United States military film showcasing how the U.S. Navy requested Bikinians to leave their homeland without any compensation.
All right, now, James, will you tell them that the United States government now wants to attempt to turn this great destructive force into something good for mankind?
The person speaking is Commodore Ben Wyatt. He was the military governor in charge of the Marshall Islands after the U.S. took it over in World War II. Wyatt asked King Judah, the leader of the Bikinians, to leave.
King Judah. He said they gonna get his man that day. They call his man King Judah. He is not an Israelite, but this is what they did. They lied to these people, man. And he said they're gonna take something destructive and turn it in and use it and turn it. Now we want to attempt to turn this great destruction force into something that's good. And this man's a fucking liar, man. Nothing good came out of that except that it showed that their nuclear bombs work. And then Castle Bravo, which you about to find out, was messed up because they had miscalculated the destructive force. So it destroyed even more than it was supposed to, man. You know, and that's just devil. This is Psalms 55:21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And this is a great example and great illustration of that. This man sitting on a beach edge with an interpreter and telling these people what he wanted to tell them. And this was a staged event. I'm sure that these people here, the majority of the people that's sitting here, don't know what the hell he talking about. Even a so-called King Judah, this guy, he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. But war was in his heart. What was the war? Was it the destructive force? And then they didn't tell these people. You think these people don't know prior to setting up a nuclear weapon, which they were splitting atoms, they couldn't put back together, wouldn't affect people on a biological or molecular level? They knew all of that, but they didn't care because war was in his heart.
Destructive force into something good for mankind.
The person speaking is Commodore Ben Wyatt. He was the military governor in charge of the Marshall Islands after the U.S. took it over in World War II. Wyatt asked King Judah, the leader of the Bikinians, to leave so that the U.S. could begin Operation Crossroads. The Bikinians were told that this was going to be for the good of all mankind, which is why King Judah agreed to the U.S.'s demands.
Yeah, everything's good, everything's in God's hands. And these people don't know what the hell was going on, man. And he said, tell them that's fine, man. He agreed on camera to leave. And this is how Esau does, even with his treaties that he had with these people, these native nations, including the Israelites here in America. You know, they sold them a dream, but they lied to them. It was nothing but lies, man. Lies and robbery. You know, the scripture says what? Remove not a man's Remove not the ancient landmarks. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Slide here. All right. I want to keep this. Let me get another. The landmarks, man. You ain't supposed to do that. And what this dude did, he removed it by destroying it. This is the book of. This is the book of. This is oh gosh. Yeah, this is the book of Proverbs 22, verse 28. It says, remove not the ancient landmarks which thy fathers have set. Okay? Proverbs 23 and 10. Remove not the old landmark and enter not into the fields of the fatherless. And that's what Esau has done. That's all he do. You know? This man breaks the Lord's commandments all the time, and he don't care. It don't matter to him. It says, don't cheat your neighbor by moving the ancient boundary markers. Don't take the land of defenseless orphans, man. And these people were defenseless to Esau and his lies, man. I mean, they had nuclear bombs that's ready to test. So they figured, let's go in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, let's destroy that shit. Let's just destroy it, you know, and forget about these people that are there. And this dude told him that this was for the good of mankind. How? How, Sway? How is this the good of mankind when you kill and destroy people, man? To do it. That don't make no sense. It was for the good of Edomite kind. You know? This man's a liar. That's why the scriptures also says this in the book of John 10 and 10. John 10 and 10. Again, it's a damn shame what they did to that Bikini Atoll, man. You know? As is James 10 and 10. The thief cometh not, which Esau, he's a thief, cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly, man. All right? And that's what's going to happen when Yahweh Shai come. We're going to have life. And we're going to have it more abundantly. Because when Esau comes, he comes, what? To steal, kill, and destroy, man. Let's keep on reading. This St. John 8 and 43. St. John 8 and 43. All right? It says, why do you not understand my speech, even because you cannot hear my word? And this Yahweh Shai cursing out the wicked of our people. Ye are your father, the devil, and the lust of your father he will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is the liar and the father of it. And this is a great illustration of that, because the whole time this devil was lying. You understand something? You blowing up kilotons, megatons of TNT, nuclear weapons. You know, it could never. You can't have a simple conversation like this and let these people know the devastation that's coming behind it, and then the residual effects that the people are going to have to suffer from that shit. You can't. Like, this ain't that's not the conversation right there that they were having. He talked these people out of their land. These people just got up and moved. A lot of them got sick. All right? A lot of these people got sick. Let me play this real quick. Because when they were doing this shit, they were jovial about it. And there's nothing but Edomites on this boat. Nothing but Edomites, Satanists, Edomites, monsters, man.
History in the making. A scene that excites even the most experienced newsman. Throughout the observant fleet, all eyes are trained on the blast point. Seconds, 20 seconds, 15 seconds. Dr. Holloway, leader of the Los Alamos group, and the entire fleet waits in almost agonized tenseness. Now but 5 seconds to go. And...
God damn. God damn. That's straight destruction, bro. Straight destruction. I got another one, the tragedy that hit, the untold tragedy of Bikini Atoll. I want to skip to this point right here.
13.5 megatons of TNT, and the Castle Bravo yielding 15 megatons of TNT. For reference, a kiloton is 1,000 tons of TNT, and a megaton is 1 million tons of TNT. The heights of the Castle Blast were much taller than Mount Everest, and the average height of a commercial airliner at cruising altitude. The top of the Bravo mushroom cloud reached heights of approximately 110,000 feet. The bomb dropped on Hiroshima was 9 kilotons, and the bomb dropped on Nagasaki was 21 kilotons. The purpose of the testing for Operation Castle was to experiment with dry fuel and thermonuclear bombs.
And that's not the conversation that this guy was having with so-called King Judah. You know what I'm saying? That's a slap in the face, because this man ain't no king of Judah unless he go back to our people. Okay, but that wasn't the discussion they were having right there. He told him that it would be good for mankind. Let me rewind what he said to this man.
Judah, the leader of the Bikinians, to leave so that the U.S. could begin Operation Crossroads.
Now wants to attempt to turn this great destructive force into something good for mankind.
And how the hell is setting off a 15 megaton bomb good for mankind? That's a lie. It's not good for mankind, because now we're on the brink of war, which is all spiritual anyway, because it's got to happen anyway. But nothing good. The only thing good going to come out of this is that Esau is going to be destroyed. But he ain't tell other people that. And he's the Edomite.
The person speaking is Commodore Ben Wyatt. He was the military governor in charge of the Marshall Islands after the U.S. took it over in World War II. Wyatt asked King Judah, the leader of the Bikinians, to leave so that the U.S. could begin Operation Crossroads. The Bikinians were told that this was going to be for the good of all mankind, which is why King Judah agreed to the U.S.'s demands.
Tell him that's fine. Everything being in God's hands, it must be good.
What King
This man's the wicked. That man is wicked.
Judah said is actually inscribed on the Bikini Atoll flag.
What it's on here says, meaning everything is in the hands of God.
So the Bikinians evacuated and left on the Navy ship to a much smaller island.
The ladies are carrying stuff back to the LST-1108 that's transported to Toronto.
So Selena's office is covered in pictures of the evacuation.
Yeah, this man's a devil, bro. This man's a fucking devil.
This meant that the hydrogen isotope used in the device was solid rather than liquid, greatly reducing size and weight, allowing for the hydrogen bombs to be dropped by plane. Experienced severe radiation. M7 and Bravo, solid fuel was never experimented with before bombs. This meant that the hydrogen isotope used in the device was solid rather than liquid, greatly reducing size and weight, allowing for the hydrogen bombs to be dropped by plane. However, because H-bombs using solid fuel was never experimented with before, the scientists in charge of the dry thermonuclear bombs tragically miscalculated the bombs' yield. The Castle Bravo, the first and largest blast of Operation Castle, was especially catastrophic. Scientists predicted that the Bravo would yield 6 megatons of TNT, but made a small error in their calculations. The lithium-7 in Bravo reacted with the helium and tritium surrounding the area, causing a chain reaction and splitting atoms and a massive energy surge. The Bravo's 15 megaton blast was 2.5 times bigger than scientists expected. Because of this fatal error, the 167 islanders surrounding Bikini Atoll experienced severe radiation exposure. Within minutes of detonation, all of the inhabitants of the Marshall Islands experienced radiation sickness, showing symptoms of itchiness, sore skin, vomiting, diarrhea, and fatigue. Operation Castle was inspired from Operation Crossroads, which took place in 1946 at Bikini Atoll. Crossroads was meant to experience...
So look at that. If you think if so-called King Judah would have known that this shit was going to do this to his people, he would have agreed. He would have agreed to this shit. No, he would not have. And look, like I told you, they even make fun of these people, bro. They make SpongeBob SquarePants is based on the destruction of people, man. That's fucked up, man. That's why the scripture says this back in Psalms 10 and 5, but I'm going to start at 1. It says, the prayer to overthrow the wicked, right? Why sinnest thou afar off, O Lord, Yahweh Bashmi Awashah? Why hidest thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. And that's exactly what he did to these people. He persecuted the poor of all nations, man. You know? And it's spiritual too, because we're the only ones fighting for this, right? Because even though these nations are heathens, we ain't going to do no shit to them like that. I mean, we're going to destroy them. They're going to go into captivity, but they're not going to go through this shit, and we're not going to lie to them. It's just judgment. And then after their judgment, they're going to be able to live. But you Edomites, you're not going to be able to live after some shit like this, bro. You're not going to be able to live after what you did to these nations. That's why these nations going to hate you, man. Because they're going to know why they're going through what they're going through when we get in the power. You know? That's fucked up, man. Let's keep on reading. It's a damn shame. It truly is a damn shame. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices they have imagined, which Esau is going to be taken in that the device that they imagined, that nuclear destruction, that nuclear bomb. It's for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire. We want to turn something destructive for the use of good for all mankind. That's what they said. Right? That's a boasteth. And their heart's desire, and blesses the covetous whom the Lord abhorred, because they wanted that land. They wanted this land from these people. So what they do, they coveted the land, and they took it and they destroyed the people. They made them sick. They destroyed the land. How's that? How are you destroying land, somebody's inheritance? How is that? How is that? And good for mankind. And then on the top of that, the King Judah said it's in God's hand. And then Esau said, if it's in God's hand, that means it's good. You know what I'm saying? You see the mindset of this devil, man? It says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. You know, the wicked. Let me see what this says in the NLT. In the NLT, it says, for they brag about their evil desires. They praise the greedy and the curse. And they praise the greedy and curse the Lord. And that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. It says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. So all that talking about if it's in God's hands, nah, man. God is not in all his thoughts. The Most High was not in this man's thoughts when he created that nuclear bomb. His ways are always grievous. Right? Esau's ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. So he don't even think about being judged for this. As for all his enemies, he puffeth up at them. He boasts at them. In the NLT, let's see what that says. Right? I don't think it might be as good. It says, yet they succeed in everything they do. They do not see your punishments awaiting them. They sneer at all their enemies. Exactly. Esau, when he was creating this bomb, he wasn't thinking about the punishment that's going to follow him doing this shit, man. You know, these Japhite women, these women, they destroyed them people in the 40s, man. And these people are back here today in the reincarnation. Sick, fucked up, you know what I'm saying? Jacked up, all because of this man's lies, man.
That's Ben White right there, and King Judah, and other Bikinians.
So Selena said the pictures are meant to be a constant reminder of what happened to her people. What does it mean for you that you are from a land that you can't go back to?
I feel like a nomad.
Yeah, but she's in America though, and they live in the American dream, which is a nightmare because they're nothing but slaves here. They're taken out of their land, but it's still they got more than when we got here, you know. But she want to go home. These people want to go home. Even Apostle Gabar said that in their video. He was like, "Hey man, some people just want to go home."
It's heartbreaking knowing that we don't have a home to go to.
The Exodus is known to Marshall Islanders as Bikini Day. It's something they commemorate every year, even here in Arkansas.
And the difference between them and us is that they still got their culture. Even though they shit got destroyed, blew up, their shit got blown up. You know, they gotta be sitting with COVID masks and shit on their face. You know, they still got their culture. We don't have that. We getting it back down through the spirit. But that's what I'm saying. Like these nations. That's why. Let me get this real quick, because even though the wickedness that Esau has done to these nations, he's done it to everybody. But he started doing it to us first. That's why it says this in the book of Daniel 9 and 12. Because Esau don't feel like he got to give us any compensation or redress for what he did to us. But that's okay. He gonna get it. We're gonna get it back out his ass. Daniel 9 and 12. And he have confirmed his word which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven have not been done as it been done upon Jerusalem, man. You see? So even though this is wicked and terrible, what Esau did to our people, it don't even compare. And like I said, that's why they got these people. They've been westernized, Edomitized. And they got the suit and tie on. You know, they're in offices. You know, I know that some of them people at the top then sold out to Esau. You know, and that's what their king did. Their king Judah, he sold out because he wasn't wise enough to overcome the devil, to see the destruction that was going to come his people. Not that he could have defended anyway.
We attended an event marking Bikini Day in Springdale, where descendants of Bikini who now live in the U.S. performed songs and dances from their homeland. And they reenacted the conversation between Ben Wyatt and King Judah and recreated the Bikinians getting on LST-1108, the ship that took them from their homeland forever. Many Bikinians didn't know that this move was permanent, that they wouldn't ever be allowed to come back to their home.
Yeah, because they were lied to.
I feel like we were betrayed.
You feel like you were betrayed. You don't have to feel that way. You were betrayed. Because that's what Esau does, man. Revelation 6 and 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And ever since Esau came into power, he's that red horse, power was given to him to what? To take peace from the earth, and that people will kill one another. And it was given to him a great sword, that sword of destruction, right? That's why it says this. Nate got this all wrong, but this is what it says in the book of Revelation 7 and 20, right? And 8, 7, in the book of Slakia, Revelation 20 and 7. And when 1,000 years were expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. That's Esau, Edom. That was during the Renaissance period. He came out of that prison and shall go out and to deceive the nations, which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather together to battle, the number of whom is at the sand of the sea. And that's what we're coming into now. That's why the nuclear missiles were constructed, right? So they can do this great battle. But what did he do to these people? He deceived these nations, man. These people didn't know nothing about a nuclear bomb. They didn't know the effects of what 67 nuclear bombs was going to do to their land and to their home. And they can't even eat out of that water in the surrounding areas because it's poison. They can't grow no food on that land. They can't go back home to that land. So now they stuck living in America. You know what I'm saying? Living here in Babylon.
And tricked into believing that what we were sacrificing was for the good of all.
And it wasn't, you see, they were tricked. They were lied to. They were deceived to think that what they were doing was for the good of mankind. That's what their leader said, Judah. King Judah said.
I feel like we were betrayed and tricked into believing that what we were sacrificing was for the good of all mankind and for everybody in the whole wide world to be safe.
And how the fuck everybody gonna be safe? How you gonna be safe with nuclear bombs all over the place, man? And they slinging these nuclear bombs like crap to these different nations. You know, these different nations have got nuclear technology, so they building weapons, and they about to go to war with people. That's gonna be a devastating war. They said the scripture says it's gonna be what with the fuel of fire, man. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be terrible for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, we part of the elect. We're gonna get out of it. But it's gonna be nothing good. Only thing good is coming out of it is that Esau is going to be destroyed, and he doesn't tell you that. Isaiah 9:5, because you see, and this will show you too. This bomb, this weapon, it shows you that they can't control this destruction. Only Yahweh Bashim Yahushai can control it. He's gonna use the angels to keep the destruction localized in certain areas. But Esau can't do that. And we're talking about 200 million warheads going off, man. And they got it. I saw a video last week, and they said that one nuclear warhead can carry up to 300. I mean, one nuclear missile can carry up to 300 nuclear warheads, bro. One. And these nations got them in the thousands, the hundreds and thousands. So it's gonna get live out here, bro. This destruction gonna be terrible. That's why a lot of people gonna die from famine after the fallout, death and destruction, cancers. People gonna be effed up, man. How could that be for the greater good of mankind? It's Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. Right, the ancient wars, men went face to face, rolled their garments up, and it was bloody from other men's death or their own blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, and these people were lied to. And then on top of that, they were mocked by having a fucking show called SpongeBob SquarePants about the Bikini Atoll, man.
Sacrificing was for the good of all mankind and for everybody in the whole wide world to be safe.
I had heard of Bikini Atoll in my life only through pop culture. There was SpongeBob who lived on Bikini Bottom underneath the atoll.
We need to get back to Bikini Bottom.
Oh well.
And then there's Godzilla, who the U.S. government apparently tried to kill with a nuclear weapon.
SpongeBob and Godzilla, it's used as a joke to many people, but really it's something more serious. And
she's so right. It's used as a joke to people, but there's something way more serious behind it. And that's what a lot of this shit that you watch, that you laugh at, and that's called desensitization, is really a terrible story behind it. Even when they mock our Lord, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, and they create these Edomite images, Family Guy, like this right here. Right? Like images like this, right? This is from Family Guy, right? They try to make Yahweh Shai a white man. They call him Jesus. He even made him black on his show at once, right? But it was a terrible story behind this. It was a traumatic event that was behind this. It wasn't something to joke at, Black Jesus, and they got him with sunglasses on and a perm in his head. Celebrate with Jesus, available until January 3rd. The Jesus are back in town to celebrate their 2018 birthday. They may not walk on water, but they do drop clams. Don't miss this. Don't miss the other holiday content like Quagmire's Bondage Rack. And that's wicked too. All of this is wicked. Rolling hamsters and Snowman Rupert. Just all wickedness, man. They joke and they laugh about things, but there's a more serious thing behind it, Says, oh, thank you. Somebody said, oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, actually, it wasn't me. It was, no, it's okay. I'm used to it. You see? So they venerate these idols, right? And just like these people did, they do to these people here in Bikini Atoll. These people are suffering, man. She getting old, losing her hair. These people got cancers. Look, this is what Apostle Gabar had brought out in the Bikini Atoll, right? It says the Marshallese society is a matrilineal, and land is passed down from generation to generation through the mother, which these are heathens. Land ownership ties, blah 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 blah. Payments made in the 20th century as reparations for damage to the Bikini Atoll and the islanders' way of life have elevated their income relative to the other Marshall Island residents. It has caused some Bikini Islanders to become economically dependent on the payments, which they are, from the trust fund. This dependency has eroded individuals' interest in traditional economic pursuit. Why? Because they can sit home and make money. And you got native tribes going through the same thing. It says, this dependency has eroded individuals' interest in traditional economic pursuits like taro and copra production. The move also altered traditional patterns of social alliances and political organizations on Bikini, on Bikini. Rights to the land and land ownership were the major factors in social and political organization and leadership. After relocation and settlements on Kili, a dual system of land tenure evolved. Disbursements from the trust fund were based on part to land ownership on Bikini and based on current land tenure in Kili, blah, 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 blah. The nuclear test site, it says the United States government established several trust funds, which, as of 2013, covered medical treatment and other costs and paid about $550 annually to each individual. That ain't shit. That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing, bro. I was trying to see about the nuclear test. Residents relocated. The nuclear weapons testing at Bikini Atoll program was a series of 23 nuclear devices detonated by the United States between 46 and 58, and even and 7 test sites. The test weapons were detonated on a reef itself, and on the sea, in the air, and under the water, so they contaminated everything. With a combined fission yield of 42.2 megatons, the testing began with Operation Crossroads, which we talked about right here in 46. Shortly after World War II ended, President Harry S. Truman directed Army and Navy officials to secure the site for testing nuclear weapons, man. Damn, bro. Moved to Kili Islands. Like, I'm just trying to see what had happened. Failed resettlement. They had failed resettlements. Return to Bikini Atoll. Listen to this right here. Listen to this. Listen to this. It says, I'll start right here. Then in May 1977, scientists found dangerously high levels of strontium 90 in the well water, exceeding the U.S. maximum allowed limits. In June, the Department of Energy stated that all living patterns involving Bikini Island exceeded federal radiation guidelines for 30-year population doses. Later that year, scientists discovered that an 11-fold increase in the cesium-137 body burdens in all the people living on the atoll. In 78, officials from the U.S. Department and the Interior described the 75% increase in radioactive cesium-137 found as incredible. Women were experiencing miscarriages, stillbirths, and genetic abnormalities in their children. Researchers learned that the coral soil behaved differently from mainland soil because it contains very little potassium. Plants and trees readily absorb potassium as part of the normal biological process, but since cesium is part of the same group on the periodic table, it is absorbed by plants in very similar chemical process. The islanders who unknowingly consumed contaminated coconut milk were found to have abnormally high concentrations of cesium in their bodies. You see this shit? And they was giving these people $500, $550 a year. That ain't shit. The islanders received $75 million in damages in 1986 as part of a new compact with U.S. in 1988. Another $90 million to be used specifically for radiation cleanup. And you can't clean that shit up, man. You can't clean that shit up. Trust funds and failed claims. People ain't getting paid for this shit. And that's why this lady right here is lamenting. And this man thinks he thinks he's the Most High, man. This man thinks he's the Lord, bro. He thinks he can do what he wants. He cannot. This is Ezekiel 29:8. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and these nations will destroy. Matter of fact, let's start at 1. Apostle Gabar brought this precept out in a live show. It says, the word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, with Esau, you're the new prince of Tyrus. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, but because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of the Most High, and in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man, and not the Most High. Though thou set thine heart as the Most High, and that's what you Edomites have done. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel, there is no secret that they can hide from thee. And that's exactly how Esau worked, because he wouldn't be able to put that nuclear bomb together. You know? Ain't no other nation do that. They doing it now because they got the technology from Esau. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten the riches, and hast gotten gold, silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches. And thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. That's right. This man think he can't be stopped. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, because thou hast set thy heart as the heart of the Most High. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. Wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am a God? But thou shalt be a man and no God in the hand of him that slayeth thee. And that's going to be Yahweh Shai when he destroys you. You know, Yahweh Shai's second coming is a victory for the Israelites, but ultimately the whole world outside of Esau, you're going to be able to benefit from that victory too, to a point. Mainly, you ain't going to have to worry about having your homelands destroyed by nuclear fire and poison for generations to come. Right? We're not going to lie to you about nothing. We're going to tell you the truth. You know, you're going to understand what's going on. Unlike their king, so-called King Judah.
Devastated.
Who the U.S. government apparently tried to kill with a nuclear weapon.
With SpongeBob and Godzilla. It's used as a joke to many people, but really it's something more serious and
another reason why these people losing, because they had a king, but it wasn't a patrilineal patriarchal society. It was a matrilineal society. So that's why they got a lot of these women standing up as leaders. But Esau don't fear the women. You know, their men were weak, and then they got their women over it. That's why they losing too.
Yeah, sad.
The next day in Springdale, we met up with Benedict Madison. Benedict is a project specialist for youth, climate, and nuclear issues at the Marshallese Educational Initiative.
So the Marshall Islands are on average 6 feet above sea level, and we are actually one of 4 low-lying island nations in the world.
Meaning that all the land is at or nearly at sea level.
You're talking about an entire country that could perhaps disappear by the middle of this century. Right now, we're already experiencing the impacts of climate change. We're seeing extreme flooding,
and
droughts.
Who's the cause for climate change? You Edomites, man. That ain't, you talk that climate change like it got something to do with man, with us. No, it's Esau. You're the reason for climate issues, man.
Who braved the vast ocean in small canoes. But that's been
droughts.
That drought has made the groundwater on some islands so salty that it's undrinkable.
And then climate change also plays a role in why people are moving.
That's not climate change. It's because of the nuclear destruction that Esau put on your island, man. But they slide that climate change shit in there to try to make it sound like it's an issue with mankind. No, it's Esau.
To the states. And so when you've got land that's being destroyed, people can't grow crops.
If they can't grow crops, many Marshall Islanders go to the urban centers to find jobs. But that's been difficult. Youth unemployment is now above 20%.
If they don't find opportunities there, they move here to the States.
The Pacific Islanders who first settled in the Marshall Islands 3,000 years ago were expert sea travelers who braved the vast ocean in small canoes.
Boat building is an important island occupation. No blueprints or handbooks are used in building these fragile outriggers.
The foundation of the canoe is called jod. Jod in our language is kindness, and kindness is really the foundation of a Muslim person. That's why it's called George.
Melissa Leland is descended from Marshallese royalty, and she showed me what tools her forefathers used to travel.
Many of our ancestors were really
And that's
good.
how I know these are all Japhets. Just a royal princess of the Marshall Islands. You see, she living good. She got a nice house. You know, paying her bills, living at a high life, man. Yeah, man. I ain't gonna hold brothers up, man. It's just a damn shame. This is a damn shame, man. Financial legacy of nuclear testing in Bikini Atoll. Somebody said it says Jessica Mendoza. This is a full transcript of the interview. One test site was the American territory of Bikini Atoll. Over 12 years, a total of 23 atomic bombs were detonated in and around the Chain Islands. But before it was a nuclear test site, it was a home for more than 100 people. The U.S. government evacuated those islanders ahead of experiments, and for decades they were nuclear nomads, hopping from island to island, often facing harsh conditions, sometimes starvation. Eventually, the U.S. government agreed to set aside funding to help the people of Bikini and their descendants. And again, that's how you know they're not Israelite. We got Israelites scattered amongst them, but they're not Israelites because look, they got some type of reparation. We ain't get shit, yo. They ain't get shit. But yeah, they messed the nations up, man. And ultimately, the Lord's gonna destroy this man, and he's going down. And at the end of the day, it's really sad. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. A crying shame what they did to Bikini Atoll. It's a damn say shalom on to the next.